Alright you guys, I'm going to do a quick video on how to cut out your plans once you receive them. And these are the plans for the micro MIG-29 using the ultra micro P-51 electronics. Little 6-channel receiver. So let's get started here. First off, I went up and bought a 3mm Depron sheet. And when you get these sheets, they come with one side's a little rougher than the other, and you'll see there's a bend in the sheet. I always put the crown facing up, which means the bow at the top. And you want to take your plans, here's some of the tools you'll be needing: Scotch tape, pen, knife, a little poker stick here, some scissors. First off, let's tape the sheet down. You want to get your paper nice and flat. I try to rush through this video because I don't want it to be a half-hour long. Alright, let's start cutting. I got it taped down on there. Now for all your leading edges of your plane, you're going to want to cut at a 45-degree angle, or you could make it more. It's your preference. The nose of the plane I'm going to cut at an angle. All your leading edges. First off, you're going to want to cut out where your prop goes. Like I said, I'm just going to do this quickly, so it ain't going to turn out all that pretty. These are all just straight cuts. Now for the cut in the back of the prop, you're going to want to make it at a 45. Just turn it around here. So you want to make this cut at a 45-degree angle. There's your first cut. Now you want to cut out where your motor is going to mount. Alright, now there's your propeller. Now I want to move on to the main fuselage here, the main body. Remember, all your leading edges you're going to want to cut at a 45. So you'll be making your 45 at facing the front of the plane. go ahead and make all my 45 cuts on my leading edges. Again with the tail. Now for the nose, you're just going to have to freehand it. What I do is I come in here, I'm going to make it at a 45. Now for the rest of the cutouts, it's just all straight cuts. Here, I'll just come in and do them freehand. I think that should be all of them. So there you got your main body of your plane cut out. So I cut out my prop, motor mount, and the main fuselage here. You're going to want to take and mark where your swivel, I think it's a swivel servo. What I do is poke a hole there. Now I'll know where to push that rod through. Okay, so we can take this and set it off to the side. So there's your main body. Remember, all your leading edges 45-degree angle cuts. Alright, how to get your other parts. Here we got the main fuselage. Go ahead and cut this out right now. These are all just straight cuts for your main fuselage. I'll come back in here and just freehand this stuff. There's your front piece. Now for the tail fins. On the bottom you're going to want a 45-degree cut, because you want your tail fins to be at an angle. So let's do that cut first. So I'm making it maybe a little less than a 45. And then straight cut the rest. Again, guys, I'm just doing this real quick. Of course, you might want to take your time, make your cuts real nice. So there we have our main vertical stabs, or tail fins. Now, to get these pieces onto here, simply cut out the rudder. I just set it on like so. Take your pen and just mark where your lines are going to be. And just go back. Alright, I made the 45-degree cut at the bottom. So this will be your right. Facing the front of the plane, this is your right vertical stabilizer fin. And you're going to want to make your 45-degree cuts on the outside of it. So what I do is take and cut at a 45-degree angle. And then a straight cut at the bottom. And once you've made that cut, what you're going to want to do is flip this over and trim off. Or actually, once you have that, as you see I cut it like that. Now you're just going to trim off this little 45 on your rudder. Like so. Now for the tape, remember you want your hinge to be on the 45-degree cut on this side. There's your rudder. Alright, let's get back to the main frame here. Now it's optional if you want the KF airfoil. Let's just go ahead and cut that out right now. You're just going to want to set it up here like so. Make sure it looks good. So we'll move back over to our sheet of foam. Just do a quick mark of where we're going to be tracing our lines. I'm just marking all the corners. Now you come back with your ruler. And this is just how I do it. I mean, I know other people got other ways of doing things. You might come up with an easier way. And this will be for your KF airfoil. Alright, so let's go ahead and cut that out. Now again, on the leading edge of your KF airfoil, you're going to want to put a 45-degree angle cut. And the rest are just straight cuts. So now we have our KF airfoil. We have our vertical stabilizer fin. For making a duplicate to this, you're going to need a left side. What I do is just stick it back on my foam. trace it out with a pen. Again, you're going to need to make a 45 at the bottom. Straight cut the rest. So there you got your duplicate. Just go ahead and cut out your rudder the same way. Now that we did that, now we're going to come back to our PDF plan, cut out an aileron. Here's your right aileron. I want to go ahead and mark your corners. Just like so. Get out of the way. Come back in with your using a ruler to mark these lines. Now I'll go ahead and cut them. Now again, you're going to want on the front of your aileron to cut a 45-degree angle. You want your hinge to be at the top. So once I did that, now I'll just take and cut off. Cut out another 45. That way you got your hinge surface. I always use just clear tape to hinge my planes. There you have your right aileron. Let's go ahead and do the main elevator. What you want to do is cut this out. Go. Again, you're going to want to just center it over your foam. Take your pen, mark where your lines are going to be. Take and mark it with the ruler. Now, you want a 45-degree cut on your thrust vector elevator. So start with that in the front. And for your hinge lines, you're going to want to 45 those too. Alright, then just straight cut the rest. As you can see, you got that little piece left there. What I'll do is I'll 45 that backward. And you also have to cut off these. This is where your hinge line is. Again, I'm just doing this quick. Try to do it quickly for you. Now we'll go ahead and tape the elevator on. Once you do that, you're going to want to make a little clearance so nothing's rubbing. Go ahead and just trim off a little bit on each side. There you have your elevator. Your aileron. Alright. So what I'm going to do is just try to install some of these parts before I run out of video time here. Now of course you can use 5-minute epoxy, hot glue gun,